With a 3-day long weekend, your riding goals have to be realistic because you don't want to burn down too much time driving on either end of that weekend, but you're also looking for trails that are good enough to go to for that long weekend stay. So that's why we've come here to the Northeastern Ontario region. From home to North Bay is less than a 4-hour drive for all of us, easily done after work on a Friday evening, so that's our starting point for this trip. The Ramada Pinewood is our first overnight, offering a perfect place to launch from. Just a couple of minutes off Highway 11 south of North Bay, the hotel has plenty of parking for tow rigs to be left behind if you choose to saddlebag your way through the weekend like us. The rest of our tour will take us up to Elk Lake for our second overnight stay at the Elk Lake Wilderness Resort. Then on to the Sportsmans Lodge outside Sudbury for a night. Then back to the trucks for the drive home. In total, the loop should roll on about 700 clicks on the odometers, maybe even a little more if we get ambitious, but in a region with so many trails interconnecting on the system, we'll have that option.
So the region is Northern Ontario. We're probably about 60 miles north of Huntsville. We're right smack in the middle between Toronto and Cochrane, pretty much in the middle of the whole OFSC trail system. We have many different loops. You can take daily loops. We can go east, we can go to Mattawa and back for lunch, which takes about 6 hours. We can go west, we can go to Sudbury and back. We can go north, we can go to Temagami and back. We can go south, we can go to Huntsville and back. And then we have, of course, in North Bay, many day loops. From here, we can make the Quebec border in about 2.5 hour ride. And they will let us gas up there, have lunch, and come back without buying a daily pass.
North Bay is amazing for snowmobilers. We have it all. They like to say that you can go anywhere from here, and you truly can. You can go east, you can go west, you can go north. We just have the best trail systems. We actually have 3 clubs in a pretty small area, 5 groomers. There's just nowhere that you can't go from North Bay. One of the cool things about North Bay, it's not like in the south where it's a lot of twisty, turny trails, and it's not necessarily like in the north where it's a lot of pipeline running. You actually get the best mix of both, so it's great terrain here in the North Bay area. North Bay and the north in general is just completely snowmobile friendly. So the signage is good, the amenities are good, the hotels are good, the restaurants are good, and everything is just, a little bit off the trail. They just try and make it so easy for snowmobilers. We talk to a lot of people in the restaurants, or if we're staying overnight somewhere, you can't help but be telling stories about your trip all day long. And everybody just talks about how the north is so friendly and so snowmobiler friendly. Everybody is just looking to help everybody, telling everybody what the trails are like, the conditions are like, the best routes to take. It's almost like we'd like to keep it to ourselves because it's kind of a best kept secret, and but you end up just wanting to share it with everybody. You know what makes the trails really so good up here? It's not the snow, it's not the weather, it's the volunteers. I've never seen anything like it. The passion that the volunteers have for making the trails good for everybody else so that we all have a good time, it's amazing, and I cannot say enough about the volunteers.
Arriving at the Elk Lake Wilderness Resort in the evening, they have a great way of capping a day's ride. Dinner is brought to you in your cabin where you can enjoy your meal with your fellow riders and maybe a beverage or two in comfort. Steaks and all the fixins were on the table.
Snowmobilers are an excellent crowd. Everybody comes to have a good time, and so as long as you treat them well and you don't screw it up, they're super happy to be here, and we're super happy to have them. I've always said that the best thing about my job is that everybody who comes here is coming on vacation, and so they're already in a great mood when they get here, and all you have to do is make sure that you take good care of them. We really try to exceed their expectations, and so if we do that, they always leave happy, and then that makes us happy. Our dinner service and our breakfast service is, I think, kind of unique because we don't offer a main lodge for you to come and eat in. I mean, we do have a place where you can sit if you want, but the beauty is that you can have your dinners delivered to your cabin at whatever time you like. So if you want to ride all day and come in late and you want to come in at 7:30 or 8 and eat then, that's absolutely doable. Or if you want to eat early and then ride after, that's doable as well. We deliver your dinners right to your cabin for whatever time you want. Everything's homemade. We get rave reviews about our food, which we're really proud of. And then breakfast, when you arrive at your cabin, everything is stocked. Your fridge is stocked full of bacon and eggs and sausages and pea meal bacon and bread and peanut butter, jam, coffee, tea, milk, juice, everything you would want. So in the morning, all you have to do is cook whenever you feel like getting up, and then you leave. And well, we ask that you wash the dishes. But Northeastern Ontario is a great place for snowmobiling. The trail system is excellent. There are amazing sights that you can see, or if they're on a ride where they want to go somewhere, we have great places to send them. There's an amazing amount and great quality of places for snowmobilers to go where they're unbelievably welcomed. And you know, there's places for your sleds, and we love seeing snowmobilers ride in. I mean, it gives you a bit of a rush when you see like 6 or 7 sleds all riding in together. It's great.
Our ride today will get us down to the Sportsman's Lodge, a classic snowmobile destination. But from here, just outside Elk Lake, it's a bit of a hike. First though, we're going to stop for lunch and pick up some fuel in Goganda at the Old Reekie Lodge, and then it'll be time for our longest leg of the trip. About 200 kilometers to go from lunch down to the Sportsman's. Arriving at the Sportsman's Lodge is a welcome sight after a long day's ride. And at this place, it's clear that the snowmobiler is a welcome guest.
I've owned the Sportsman's Lodge for 13 years now, and it's been an awesome 13 years. No regrets. It's, I think, one of the better locations for any activity, whether it be snowmobiling, ATVing, canoeing, whatever your thing is, fishing, you know, it's an excellent location, and it's very accessible. So that was what enticed me about the place. It was very versatile in the activities that you could do here. I want people to, when they check in, to feel at home, feel comfortable, you know, have a clean room, and good food, you know, and go and play and have fun, you know. Snowmobile for the day, come home, back. You know, I call it home. You know, it is my home as well. So, you know, but, and I think most people do feel really comfortable and at home when they're here. You know, guests arrive, they're strangers, they end up, you know, within the first meal service usually. Oh, these two are here and these two are here. They're paired up at a table and they're riding together the next day. And then next year, oh, all 4 are booked in as one group, you know. They became, instead of 2 groups of 2, they became a group of 4 or 6 or 8. You know, it just grows. You know, a group of 2 grows to 10 sometimes or more, I've seen. Repeat clientele is an excellent way for us to gauge our success. Are we providing what we should be? You know, if your guests are coming back, they're definitely happy. You know, do we please them all? I'm going to be honest. No, we do not ever please them all. You know, there's always those ones you can't please. But I think for the most part, we score up there very high. We can't always provide the snow, perfect conditions. Mother Nature plays a huge role in that. But as far as accommodations, that's, you know, what we're here for, and guide you to get the best out of the time you're here. You got a season like this that I call it the big green blob. You look at the OFC map, and Sudbury is your greenest spot on the map, and the most southern spot on the map right now that's green. Everybody's here. And snowmobilers are a special breed. They're willing to improvise. You know, would they rather leave the lodge here, jump right on their snowmobile and be riding? Yes. But if they have to, they'll leave like a motel in town, get in their truck and trailer out to a staging area, ride for the day, come back, load up, and go back to their hotel. It's what it is, you know. And this year, a lot have had to do that because Sudbury's been sort of bombarded with the brunt of the riders because, you know, we're 3.5 hours less driving to the next big green spot, which is Cochrane, Hearst, Timmins area. You know, I'm a lodge. I offer accommodations and food to guests, and I want to do that to the best of my ability, not half-ass, if I can say that.
You just see. It's our last day of a 3-day long weekend ride, and today's ride is the shortest ride of the weekend, which is by design because after an evening spent at the Sportsman's Lodge, a small ride day is probably a good idea. Right now we got about 160K to get back to North Bay and the trailer. Our ride through northeastern Ontario has been a great way to spend a long weekend. We do have the advantage of living just a few hours south of the region, which makes this destination unbelievably close and an easy choice for a relatively short tour like ours. But we also know we're just scratching the surface because this area is undeniably big. This region could easily support a week-long adventure or even more. Being so close to home, we sometimes overlook the riding opportunities in our own backyard. And after being in this area for just a couple of days, it's reminded me of places I've ridden and want to go back to, and also made me think of a few new places and loops I've yet to discover.
One of the advertised loops that we do have, it's called the Wrap Tour. So that's around the park. So we leave here, you go south to Dorset, to Minden, loop back around to South River and come back up. You also have the Rand Tour, which is a trip that goes around Lake Nipissing. So it heads west and then goes down south and loops back around, okay? The Rand Tour probably would take a good day to do. The Wrap Tour is probably 2 to 3 days.
Wow, they're wide and really scenic and rolling, and it's like, I guess, maybe mildly mountainous here, where, you know, other trails are flat, and they're groomed. Yesterday we ran into the groomer 3 times on the same trip, and it was fantastic. So it's quality, I guess, is the answer.
Very family oriented, and whether it's a snowmobiling trip or a partial snowmobiling trip, you know, there's a ski hill in North Bay, there's a ski hill 45 minutes outside of North Bay, there's a pool, there are just so many wintry things to do. There's ice fishing, there's ice huts. It's truly a winter paradise up in North Bay.
One of the things North Bay has to offer is versatility. Lake Nipissing is full of walleye, pike, pickerel. There's a lot of outfitters that will rent you a little cabin on the lake, we call it, for the night if you want, for 2 nights for a weekend. We're also blessed with 2 cross-country ski trail places. And the big secret is we have a ski hill right in North Bay and another one about 40 miles east of us in a town called Mattawa, which happens to have the tallest vertical in all of Ontario. So there's lots to do for families.
Last night at the Sportsman's Lodge, a very snowmobile thing played out. We started trash talking each other's rides, saying my junk's faster than your junk, so we figured there's only one way to settle that argument. So we come out here to the lake in the morning to do just that. You guys ready? And now we know. Bye-bye.